You're listening to Embrace Your Snake, a podcast for anyone who's ever been told you can't do something, whether you've been told by other people or if you've told yourself that you can't do it. This is a podcast that talks right to you. I'm your host, Michael Jackson, and today we're going to be talking about what's the best social network. So what's the best social network around? We've got a lot to choose from. I mean, we've got the biggies, right? We've got Facebook. Love that. We've got Instagram. We've got Twitter. We have LinkedIn. I'd probably call those the big four right now, right? And let's see. We've got TikTok that's popping up. TikTok. I absolutely love TikTok. And probably there's some, for anyone who's going to actually start doing some marketing, there's probably some use out of that network, and I'm not exploring it right now, but there's other people out there exploring it. Gary Vee's looking into it and thinks that it's going to be the hot next thing, and he might be right. I'm not concerned with TikTok at this minute. So let's look at these networks. We got Facebook. Now, Facebook is absolutely awesome if you've got I'm going to have to say it these days, I guess, older audience, and I'm talking, I'm going to guess, 35, 40s, 45, older. It started out with the college kids, and now it looks like it's been taken over by the advertisers, and it's been taken over by an older audience. Facebook is good for that, right? We've got Twitter. That's all about news these days, right? If something's happening, you can check Twitter and see what's happening. You can get pictures. You can get the latest ins and outs, where things are going on. Bam, Twitter is right on it. LinkedIn, you're all over the place with your business news, right? And if you're not using LinkedIn for actually looking for new leads, if you're not trying to get jobs there, if you're basically doing business and you're not on LinkedIn, you're probably missing out a lot. So that leaves Instagram, right? We've got Instagram, which is, I'm going to say it's a younger crowd, right? It's about sometimes showing people who you are and what you do through pictures. I like that idea. And then, we're back to TikTok. TikTok is hilarious, by the way. If you haven't checked out TikTok, I absolutely love it. Anytime I want to de-stress, I know I could go to TikTok and get a good laugh. So it's good for that. Then there's other places you can look. I mean, there's Pinterest. Pinterest has been around for a while, and if you want to do some mood boards, if you want to get some cool ideas, Pinterest is the place to go. So now what I said was we're going to actually talk about what is the best social media network. Here's what my contention is. Now think about this. I think the best social media network in the world right now is actually being social. That's right. I think that the best social media network right now is actually getting out and being social. We as people have forgotten what it's like to connect with people, to actually touch someone, shake their hand, to sit down and have a coffee with them, to actually engage with people, look them in the eye and say, hey, you know what? I agree with you, or I disagree with you, or maybe we can work out a deal, or maybe we can't work out a deal, or hey, look at that thing over there on the street. Or just, let's have coffee and don't even talk about business. Let's talk about what happened in that last Spider-Man flick. Or let's talk about where you're going on vacation. Or let's talk about anything in the world. People have forgotten that the best social network is sitting down and being social. I will tell you right now that if you sit down with your next client, assuming you can get them to pay attention long enough, right? And you can actually go to dinner with them or have lunch with them or a coffee, I guarantee you will have more connection with that person than you will have with a bunch of emails that they probably don't ever read or are filtered out through their security system, meaning their front desk person who looks at their emails, or that goes straight into spam, or they look at the title and they say, I can get back to this later. I am going to challenge you to do this. Think of somebody that you want to actually meet, somebody you'd like to, maybe you want to do business with them. Maybe you'd like to just get to know them better. Maybe it's all about, you like a book that they wrote. You like a play that they acted in. You like some music that they did. I'm going to challenge you to step out of your comfort zone, walk from behind that keyboard, literally see if you can walk up to them and say, hi, my name is, introduce yourself and see if you can't talk to that person one-on-one. Now, I'm not saying try and get in touch with, Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, anybody like this. Not to start. We can do that later. But I'm saying just anybody. Matter of fact, I would even challenge you so much to walk up to somebody that looks interesting to you on the street and say, you know what? I like your earrings, or I like those shoes that you're wearing, or can I buy you a cup of coffee? I've done this. I have done this, and I tell you, it is a freeing experience. When I was living in Chicago, I used to go out and listen to bands. It was really a fun thing to do. In fact, on the weekends, instead of going to the movies, my friends and I would go out and listen to bands. And when I didn't have anyone to go out with, I'd go to Cubby Bear and I'd listen to bands, or I'd go to other places and I would listen to the bands. Well, I had played music, I've played music all my life, and I was getting that itch to be in a band again. I was listening to this band called Butterside Down. Dudes were awesome up on stage. And I listened to them, I listened to two of their sets. And as they were breaking down, I decided to walk up to them and I introduced myself. And I said, hey, I was talking to the bass player at the time. And I said, you guys were absolutely incredible. And I would like to play music with you guys. And I said, you know what you need? I think you need a keyboard player. And just from that conversation right there, I want you to know Mark, he's the bass player of Butterside Down, invited me out to a rehearsal, and somehow we got together, and I actually made the band. I was so happy to talk to Mark. It lifted my day, and the fact that they accepted me into the band is really, to me, one of the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I loved playing with that band. I hope Mark gets a chance to hear this. And by the way, Mark, thank you very, very much for being a friend. You were and still are an amazing person. Mark used to come by and pick me up at my underground apartment. It was a basement place that I lived at on North Park Avenue in Chicago, and he would pick me up, and we would go to practices or rehearsals over in the warehouse over. I can't remember the name of the city right now, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, we got to be good friends because I went up and I said hello, and he said hello back to me, and we formed a relationship, and I will always cherish that relationship. And it didn't send an email. I didn't send go on their website and try to go, oh, I loved your music. I literally walked up and I talked to them on stage when they were breaking down, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. I would challenge you to walk up to the person that you want to know, that you want to be involved in their life and have them involved in your life, and get to know that person one-on-one. Spend a little bit of time, get away from the keyboard, get from behind the computer, and go out and see what life has to offer. There are so many things that you will learn just by stepping out of your comfort zone. Just one little step. You'll be amazed what you can learn. That's it for today. So there's tons of social networks out there online. My challenge to you is step out of those comfort zones that you're in. Go out and say hello to somebody, shake their hand, look them in the eye and say, hey, I'd like to get to meet you. That's your social network. That, believe it or not, is your superpower. Try it. You will have powers beyond your wildest imagination. This is Michael Jackson. Peace.